The most dangerous moment in Boruto, 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 29 is not the clash of techniques, nor the fall of enemies. It is the instant when Boruto says he is ready to give everything. In that single decision, the future begins to fracture. What appears to be a well-executed battle is actually a carefully arranged crossing point. Boruto releasing the full weight of his power, MOMOSHIKI collecting data through sacrifice, Jura watching evolution unfold, and Kashin Koji realizing that the timeline he once understood is no longer holding together. While Boruto and Himawari fight side by side, proving how far they have come, the real transformation is happening beneath the surface. The boundary between Boruto and MOMOSHIKI is thinning. New possibilities are being created where none existed before. Hidari's shadow moves closer than it should, slipping through the cracks left by too many interventions. And for the first time, Koji stands without a clear path forward, watching a world that is no longer heading toward victory, but toward something irreversible. Before we go any further, make sure you smash that subscribe button, drop a like, and flood the comments with your thoughts so we can keep this anime storytelling hype alive together. Alright, let's waste no time and jump straight into it. Here we go. At first glance, Chapter 29 of Boruto, 2 Blue Vortex looks clean and triumphant. The battles flow smoothly, teamwork feels flawless, and victory seems firmly in hand. But beneath that polished surface, something feels off, and Kashin Koji is the first to notice. From the opening pages, the manga makes one thing clear. This is not a simple transition chapter. The pacing is sharp, the tension is constant, and there is no wasted movement. Boruto appears fundamentally different. Focused, unwavering, and strangely decisive. This is not the cautious, calculating Boruto we once knew. This is someone who already knows where the road ends and is walking it without hesitation, regardless of the cost. That uneasy shift reaches its most alarming point with MOMOSHIKI. His words are brief, almost casual. Use the Byakugan and everything you want. But the tone is not mockery. It is permission. A green light. Boruto understands exactly what that means. He openly acknowledges the point of no return, telling MOMOSHIKI that after this, his body will belong to him. The phrase, "use everything," goes far beyond enhanced vision. It implies full access to absorption and release of jutsu, the raw power of karma, the emergence of the Otsutsuki horn, forbidden knowledge, and the side of Boruto that has not yet been fully revealed. What makes it even more disturbing is that Boruto does not resist. He does not hesitate. He simply moves forward. From there, the chapter fragments across multiple battlefields, and on the surface, everything looks perfect. MOMOSHI's clones fall one after another. Strategies unfold with surgical precision. There is no panic, no confusion, no visible cost. It is too controlled, too clean. And in the world of Boruto, when everything looks perfect, that is precisely when danger begins to take shape. MOMOSHI, though pressured, is far from reckless. His clones are not mindless chakra projections. They attack, observe, calculate distance, respond to new techniques, and adapt. Each clone functions as a data-collecting unit, reinforcing earlier hints about the Senju's true nature. They absorb experience. Every destroyed clone is not merely a loss. It is information, not only for MOMOSHI but for Jura as well. Meanwhile, Boruto unleashes nearly his entire known arsenal. Speed, karma control, enemy analysis, inherited techniques, all of it on display. He dominates the battlefield, efficient and overwhelming, delivering exactly what fans have been waiting for. And that is where the real question emerges. Why now? Why reveal everything in a single chapter? The impression is unmistakable. The story is closing one phase in order to open another, far more dangerous one. And it does not stop there. Under Shikamaru's direction, Boruto moves toward Himawari and Team 10. For the first time, Boruto and Himawari fight side by side. Their growth feels sudden, almost too rapid for the timeline. Team 10 operates with seamless coordination, not as improvisation, but as if everything had been planned long in advance. Himawari is no longer a passive presence. She acts with confidence, purpose, and clarity, free of the hesitation that once defined her. Together they advance, eliminate threats, overcome obstacles, and the manga presents it all in a way that quietly invites the reader to lower their guard. Then one panel changes everything. Kashin Koji. He does not intervene. He does not shout. He does not warn. He simply stands and watches. His expression is not fear or shock. It is concern. A concern that completely contradicts the victory unfolding before us. And most suspicious of all, Koji is not watching the clones. He is not even watching Boruto. His gaze reaches beyond the battlefield, as if comparing what he sees now with something he has already witnessed, and finding that the two no longer align. This is where the true core of Chapter 29 reveals itself. The future is no longer stable, no longer predictable. We know Koji has used 10-direction senjutsu to observe countless possible futures, including outcomes that once seemed unavoidable, such as the deaths of Himawari and Ida. But now, too many individuals are acting on information they should not possess. Boruto knows too much and moves without hesitation. Shikamaru anticipates events far beyond normal calculation. Koji himself has shared too much knowledge with too many people. Every intervention shifts probability. And when probability shifts, new variables are born, opening paths toward entirely different futures. Elsewhere in the chapter, Momoshi reveals a new ability. He can fly, just like Jura. This is not a trivial artistic choice. The manga does not include details like this without purpose. Flight is not merely a combat style, it carries enormous strategic implications. With this ability, Momoshi can distance himself from Demon, separating Ida from her shield. Demon cannot fly. And once Ida is no longer near him, she is no longer untouchable. Slowly, the entire conflict begins to feel like a massive diversion, not designed to win the battle in front of us, but to reposition critical pieces on the board, setting someone up to be exposed when the dust finally settles. At this stage, with the future constantly shifting and splitting into new branches, the shadow of another Shinju, Hidari, could emerge far sooner than anyone expects. Once the structure of fate is altered enough, Hidari would not need brute force to strike. He could slip through residual marks, isolate his target, and remove someone in an instant. Sarada, Demon, Ida, anyone. A single appearance would be enough to collapse the fragile balance we are currently witnessing. And while all of this unfolds, another silent observer stands in the background, Jura. The moment of Boruto and Himawari fighting side by side is not merely emotional symbolism, it is a real demonstration of power and evolving potential. Displays like that inevitably draw the attention of beings who do not operate on emotion, but on curiosity. Jura originally had no intention of moving against Konoha, nor of damaging it. But curiosity reshapes priorities, and that is where uncertainty truly begins. Even Kashin Koji no longer sees a clear path ahead. He does not know whether Boruto will cross a line from which there is no return. He does not know whether Momoshi is approaching his true objective. What he does know, according to Inogen's report, is that the number of clones has already exceeded 50, despite the original estimate being around 20. When someone like Koji loses his certainty, it is a warning that the narrative is preparing to shatter every existing prediction. After all of these shifts, something far greater starts moving behind the scenes. What once appeared to be victory on the battlefield slowly changes its meaning. It is no longer about who wins or loses, it is about who has been placed in the wrong position, and who is being quietly pulled toward an unavoidable future. Boruto continues stepping deeper into territory he can no longer leave. His decision to release the full extent of his power is not just physical, it is the gradual surrender of a part of himself to MOMOSHIKIi. As the battle drags on, Boruto's presence begins to change. Not explosively, not dramatically, but perceptibly to those who can sense it. A foreign pressure, heavier, denser, as though something within him is slowly taking a more dominant seat. At this point, Boruto is no longer merely a shinobi fighting to protect others. He is becoming an existence shaped into something far more dangerous. Meanwhile, MOMOSHIKi's actions are anything but desperation. Every fallen clone is not failure, it is information. Every collision, every technique, every movement of Boruto and his allies is being recorded as experience. And behind all of it, Jura observes without urgency. His gaze is not fixed on victory or defeat, but on transformation, on possibility, on evolution happening in real time before his eyes. While the battlefield's attention remains locked on Boruto and Himawari, something else begins to move within a quieter dimension. The future, once visible and traceable to Kashin Koji, no longer follows the same routes. New branches emerge. Possibilities that never existed before begin to fill the empty spaces between Koji's visions. Within those cracks, the shadow of Hidari slowly takes form, arriving earlier than it ever should have, slipping through the distortions created by too many human interventions. Hidari's arrival will not come as destruction, but as silence. In a single moment, someone will vanish. Not killed, not defeated, simply taken. And the world will realize that this entire battle was never the main event, only the opening act to something vastly more terrifying. Panic will not be triggered by explosions, but by the quiet realization that the balance of everything has already been broken without anyone noticing. Amid it all, Boruto will feel the change he can no longer stop. Each time he calls upon that power, the boundary between himself and MOMOSHIKIi grows thinner. Every victory demands a price. Every step forward draws him closer to the point of no return. What he protects today may become the very reason the world fears him tomorrow. From a distance, Kashin Koji can only watch with a darkening expression. For the first time, he does not see a clear way out. All he sees is a world sliding toward a new chapter, one where Boruto Uzumaki no longer walks as the child of Konoha, but as the eye of the storm that will reshape the entire shinobi order. Thanks a lot for staying with me till the end. If you have any questions or ideas, write them down below. See you in the next one.